Okay, this week we are looking at Unsere, or that's how a lot of people pronounce it, or Unsere, and I'll explain why the difference in pronunciation just now. Let's just do the intro first. Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button. Okay, so the next spirit, Unsere. Let's do the pronunciation first. Get that out of the way, then we'll do correspondences and the rest of it. So, Unsere or Unsere. A lot of people do pronounce it as Unsere. But if we actually look at the word and if we look at the texts found or the mention of the name in J. Thorpe and S. Connolly's works, there is at least one place in both of these people's works where they actually put an acute accent on the E at the end, the last E. That is an indication that the last E should be pronounced. Okay, so it wouldn't be Unsere, it would be Unsere. Now, going completely out of this, this word is actually a German word. And it means ours, as in belonging to. So, this house is ours, that type of thing. And it's pronounced Unsere. I hope I said that properly. I'm not German. I do not speak German, so please forgive me if you are German and you're cringing right now. But it's Unsere, and that's with the acute accent on the E in Connolly's works and J. Thorpe's works. I am more inclined to pronounce it Unsere, all right, rather than Unsere. But as I said, other people pronounce it that way, so it is purely up to you. But I just wanted to get that out of the way first. All right, so the N, there is an N for this particular spirit, is Unsere Tassa Lirach Onka Ayer. That's another one, Lirach. A lot of people pronounce it Lirash. I just feel it's a bit more Hebrew, Lirach, with a at the end. Anyway. All right, so Unsere is listed as being recognized during late winter. I would personally rather place that in spring equinox, and we'll get to that. I'm going to go through the circle construct again. If you missed the previous 3 weeks, go back and watch them, Leviathan, Behemoth, and Ziz, because there's a reason I'm doing all of these 4 together. Direction is considered to be northeast. Personally, I'm placing it in the east. Colors, green and white. Incense is listed as patchouli, rose petals, jasmine, and narcissus. But also, Satan and the Sons suggest lotus, sandalwood, and cedar. Elements, water and earth, and metals, silver, platinum, and rhodium. Planets are listed as Venus and Pluto. All right, I'm going to go through all of these notes, and then I'm going to come back to just something that I want to talk about regarding a particular circle construct with the placement of these particular 4 spirits and why. Okay, just for interest, just in case you actually would like to experiment with it. So J. Thorpe says that Unsere represents growth, life, positive change, motherhood, fertility. As also noted by Thorpe and Connolly that there is an acute... Oh, sorry, that was the pronunciation. What did I write over here? Connolly mentioned she saw her with blue eyes. Oh, yes, that's in reference to... So, in Connolly's Complete Book of Demonology, it's also found in J. Thorpe's book and elsewhere. There's a particular description of Unsere, and I do believe this comes from Dukante himself, because there is also a note in there by S. Connolly saying that It wasn't green eyes that she saw, it was blue eyes, okay? But this, this particular spirit, Unsere, does seem to come purely from the Dukante hierarchy. I don't believe it is found anywhere else, in any of the old grimoires or such things. But in Connolly's works, that particular passage, it reads, Unsere has deep green eyes, like the fertile plains of Ireland. Her hair is brown with strands of spun silver. Her eyes smile and sparkle. Her energy is gentle and nurturing. She travels often in a cowl-hooded cloak. Most memorable are her thin, delicate, pale hands. She dissolves into mist. She is said to often appear to women during or after childbirth to breathe life into infants. So I think she's mostly associated with the aspect of fertility, pregnancy, and childbirth and motherhood, but mostly that the whole process of fertility, the whole process from start to finish. So the conception through the actual pregnancy to the childbirth. What she won't do though is if if a life is supposed to end, she won't interfere with that. She will help with the birthing itself. She will help the mother through the process, help the pain, help the anxiety, help the fear, and comfort the mother, and help the actual birthing process to be easier. And then, as I said, breathe life into the actual infant. So the whole process of from conception to birth, and therefore, because of that, this is the main aspect of Unsere. Because of that, I'm going to come to it now. But the actual circle construct, where we're placing these four spirits into the cardinal points, that's why we place Unsere in the east, which is the time when the sun is just rising to start a new day. So that's the childbirth. That's when the child is born. Okay, so that's why I like to place Unsere there. But we'll also have to talk about the 9 demonic divinities. So I'll come to that just now. Alright, some other notes. Also a demoness of sorcery and magic. Alright, within the 9 demonic divinities of traditional demonology, she represents the aspect of life and creation. Okay, so we do have the 5 elemental kings, being Lucifer, Phlereus, Leviathan, and Belial, and Satan. Then we have, so I'm just trying to remember the things in my head. Then we have the 9 demonic divinities, which include those 5, and then there's an extra 4, which are Unsere, Verine, Amdusius, and Eurynomus. And these have particular aspects of the process of things, process of creation and destruction and enlightenment. But it is that process. So we have Unsere, which is the life, the creative aspect, and then we come around to Verine, which is the healing, the health aspect, and then we come round to Amdusius, who is the destructive aspect. And this is where we start. We've had the birthing process, we've had life itself, the healthy life, the middle-aged aspect, and then we come round to the destruction, which is the old age, death. And then we actually come to death itself, which is Eurynomus. And then the cycle continues. So, the cycle always continues. But that's the 9 demonic divinities. So those 4, and then the 5. Lucifer, Phlereus, Leviathan, Belial, Satan. Okay, so all 9 together make that particular pantheon. I haven't brought VK's mention of Unsere into this because he did see Unsere as a male aspect, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I see Lucifer as a female. Most people see Lucifer as a male, but there was just a lot of mention of aspects which are completely contrary to Unsere's role and attributions. And I mean completely diverse, but also brought in the mention of Order of 9 Angles. And whenever Order of 9 Angles comes up, I just shut down. because they are a vile group and I would have absolutely no association with them, and I do not want association with anybody who has been connected with them. So anyway, also Connolly mentions an understanding and feminine wisdom of the self and others. She is the connection from the mental to the divine or spiritual, and this leads to enlightenment. According to Satan and Sons, some sources say that she is the wife of Satan. However, they believe her to be the wife of Leviathan. And that's really, my own personal gnosis is kind of, I think I started there and then I kind of delved into it, and it did feel like they were, husband and wife, Leviathan and Unsere. So to get to this whole circle construct that I keep talking about, so we have Leviathan, Behemoth, and Ziz, who creates kind of a world tree type of aspect. So the three realms, the three aspects of Lancian sky. What I found interesting to think about, to consider, to speculate on, is to place them into a circle construct where you are placing them in the cardinal points. So we have Leviathan in the west, which is water, and then we find Behemoth in the aspect of the summer solstice, so the sun aspect, and then opposite that at the winter solstice and the lunar aspect would then be Ziz. Okay, I did say Behemoth just now, didn't I? Behemoth in the southern solstice and Ziz in the winter solstice. So that places those opposite on an axis, the north-south axis, all right, and then Leviathan in the west. Opposite that can then be his wife, Unsere, who is all about childbirth, fertility, pregnancy, bringing life into the world. And that's where we, as I said, the sun comes up, the sun rises in the morning, and that's where our new day starts. So that's the childbirthing process, or part of the whole cycle. That's where the birthing cycle starts. And then we go around to Behemoth in the summer solstice, and then opposite. So Unsere is in the spring equinox, because that's the start of the new year, when life starts to come back to the earth. Well, not start of the new year, that's in some traditions that would be Saturn. So scratch that part. But it's when life starts coming back to the earth, okay? That the spring equinox, the springtime, and we start seeing some of the plants and the flowers start breaking through the earth and coming into life. And therefore the childbirthing, or the birthing process itself, starts at the spring equinox in the east. And then we come round to Behemoth in the summer solstice, and then round to Leviathan in the autumn equinox. And those go hand in hand, Leviathan and Unsere. If we consider Leviathan to be Jupiter, which is abundance and growth and things like that, and Unsere to be the aspect of Venus. Venus, again, is often referred to as the morning star. It's that aspect which comes up in the morning, the first star before the sun, type of thing. There are various other morning stars, other planets being the morning star. Mercury can be a morning star, for instance, but we usually refer to Venus as being the morning star, and its relation to Lucifer, as Lucifer being the light bringer, the light of Venus, etc., 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 etc. So lots of mythology coming in here, ties and crossovers and etc. But therefore Unsere as the spring equinox, the bringer of the light, the morning, the beginning of the birthing process, the beginning of the day, beginning of the seasons, when the life is coming back to the earth and life is coming back to ourselves, to the land, and all of that, and then continuing around that cycle. And then Ziz in the winter solstice, when the sun has gone and it's reached its peak at Behemoth at the summer solstice at the midday, and then it's gone down in the west, quenched by the waters, and then around behind the earth so that we cannot see it, but it becomes the coldest part of the day. It's nighttime now, and therefore we find the coldest element, which is air. Ziz as being the airy aspect of things, and then coming back to the fiery aspect of Unsere. As I said, we can relate Zez to the fiery aspect, the fiery element, but it depends on how you place the elements within your own circle. You can place air in the east and fire in that in the hottest part, and then earth, because the sun goes behind the earth, opposite the fiery aspect. So it really depends on your own personal placement of things within your own construct, your own compass. There we go. All right, so hopefully that gave you some stuff to think about and contemplate, and we will continue with the rest of the 9 demonic divinities next week. So we've done Unsere now. That's one of the 9 demonic divinities. So next week we're going to do Vereen. Okay, have a good one. Cheers for now. Bye bye.